artist Andrew Wyeth. He was born in 1917 and died in 2009. Andrew Wyeth is one of America's best-known realist painters of the 20th century. He created canvases that had a mystery of the real world, thus challenging traditional notions of reality. Wyeth rendered scenes of his everyday life in rural Pennsylvania and Maine, landscapes and portraits with exciting details, primarily working in watercolor and tempera instead of a more typical oil paint or acrylic. While famous for his realistic depictions, Wyeth's compositions often carry a sense of uncanny, which led some critics to call him a magic realist. While much beloved by a popular audience and for a time the critical establishment, Wyeth's reputation declined in the 1960s, as some felt his paintings did not keep up with the times and were not relevant to contemporary culture that was experiencing various upheavals. Wyeth refused to change his style and continued painting the rural life he had always known. Later still, Wyeth became an American legend and a touchstone for younger painters who have returned to their realism to probe various issues confronting today's society. We are going to be creating a one-point perspective landscape. Our materials are going to be a ruler, colored pencils, and a pencil. First thing I'm doing is creating a horizon line. That's just a horizontal line. I'm going to add a dot on my paper. That is going to help me form my road. I start to form a letter V. This is giving me perspective. To create my fence, I'm using vertical lines, still following that line of that V. I'm then going to start to create some objects in my midground and my background. Remember, it's medium in the middle and then small in the back. You want to add a self-portrait. So somewhere in your midground, background, or foreground, add you. I suggest the foreground. I'm adding me walking my dogs. This is going to give me a little bit of a story to my picture. You want to think about how can you make it represent you. I have the road that's next to my park. I have my dogs. One's chasing a squirrel. I have, where the sidewalk and the houses are that are next to the park. I'm adding details. This is a 3 to 2 week art project, depending on how long it takes. The first day is just a sketch day, so take your time to sketch out as many details as you can. Next week, we'll talk about coloring in neatly and how to add movement into our artwork.